Times Radio.
Hello, good evening. Not every activity for kids is as wildly popular 120 years on from when it began. There is an exception, though. Scouts, the movement that started with a camping trip for 20 boys on Brownsea Island in Dorset in 1907. And in 2020, we've become one of the country's most sought-after children's clubs. There's nearly 500,000 scouts in Britain, with a record number of youngsters on a waiting list to join, which seems like the sort of opposite, doesn't it, of the way that our lives are going. So what's the secret of its success, and how has such an old-fashioned sounding pastime stayed up to date? Caroline Ledger is Deputy Lead Volunteer for Scouts UK.
So Scouts is all about spending time with friends and other young people and trying new activities and learning skills that can set you up for a really successful life. It's really different to anything else you can do because it covers such a wide range of activities. Some of them are the more traditional associated with Scouts, going outside, lighting fires, climbing trees, camping, those sorts of things. But we constantly evolve and look at what other skills that young people and adults need for the future. And so, as well as those more traditional outdoor activities, which are so important today, we also have activities around digital skills, money skills, PR and marketing, fundraising, pretty much anything and everything that you need for society today. So I think Scouting is something which gives you all of those access to all sorts of different things.
Okay, how interesting. You talk about values. The Scouts talk about values. How would you sort of epitomise the Scouts' values?
So, I mean, I could give you a list of words, but what it really comes down to is being kind and helpful, thinking about other people and trying to make the world a better place. And I think those are things which go to all ages and all generations. And I think they could be quite difficult to argue with. It's about a set of beliefs in yourself and your own ability, right, but also treating other people with decency and respect.
Right. Okay. This is all sounding quite a lot like community service.
Well, that is part of what it is. It's part, you've got 500,000 who are trying to learn something for themselves, but fundamentally it's also about helping other people. And I think that's a timeless classic value that we all admire. And we've seen at moments of crisis across the UK and across the world, people who are willing to help other people, I think, make for really strong citizens and have a set of beliefs and values that are really helpful in whatever walk of life you do. There are people across the world where we've got 57 million Scouts across the world, as well as 500,000 in the UK, looking after other people. And I think that's a really helpful part of society.
Right. So when the Conservative Party proposed the national service at the start of the election campaign, were you, Caroline, thinking, hang on, we do that already?
I guess in a non-political way, absolutely, yeah. That's what we do, and we've had young people and young adults who step up at moments of crisis and at moments that really matter to the to the nation as a whole.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We've just had a long conversation, Caroline, about gaming and about esports and about this sort of new community of online gaming and how huge it's become and how massive an economy it has become. And it strikes me that the idea of Scouts just isn't more. Our young people, obviously, I mean, it's an obvious point, but they dwell online, they communicate online, they're in different spaces, tastes, interest, the rhythms of people's lives have changed so much. And presumably, although the numbers not now backing this up, have sort of left Scouts behind. Do you feel, Caroline, it is a challenge, a battle to find your place in modern community when it appears to have fractured and drifted from where you are?
No, I think would be a simple answer. What I do think is parents and young people like doing stuff with other people in real life, and we need to provide opportunities for young people and adults to take a break from screens. I've got 2 young children who are very into gaming. My son in particular is a massive gamer, but he also appreciates time away from the screen. And I think it's about how do we provide a mix of opportunities, a mixture of different activities, help young people and adults to look after themselves and their mental health. I think it's not very healthy to spend your time in front of a screen, but that's not to say that you can't do any of that. And so it's how do you provide those different options and different things that attract different young people to do different activities and interact with different sorts of people in different ways in a safe, secure environment. And I think that's where scouting continues to grow. And I think if you look at why we've now got over 100,000 people wanting to join, parents are wanting their young people to join, I think it's probably partly as a result of so much being spent online in your bedroom or in a room by yourself. Actually, people are crying out for activities which are the antithesis of that.
Yeah, right, okay. And we talked in that conversation about gaming, about sort of toxic ideologies, and it strikes me that, there's a lot of... I know that you, under the Scouts, famously take on girls. You're a girl, Caroline, and you're the deputy lead volunteer. But obviously this is a big issue, in particular for boys, right? And toxic ideologies on gaming platforms, leading to radicalisation, extreme belief, and need only mention a character like Andrew Tate, for example, who appears to be, to some degree, hoovering up support amongst a generation of disenfranchised, disengaged, disillusioned young boys. How do you reflect on your role in that? And what kind of role Scouts plays in that equation?
That's a really interesting topic, and I don't think there's an easy answer. But I think part of how Scouting can help with that is providing safe spaces. And what I mean by that is spaces where young people are allowed to explore some of those topics and discussions, and also are exposed to positive role models that almost, again, counteract some of that toxic masculinity or whatever those today. Again, going back to our values about being, good citizens and being kind and helpful. Some of that is about caring about other people and understanding that people might have different views and opinions, but actually to be a decent human being, there are some things which unite us. And so focusing on those and giving people time to understand, explore. And we do provide our amazing adult volunteers, particularly for the sort of teenage years, with help and support when they need it and want it. When young people want to have those conversations, creating the spaces where you can provide guidance and support is important, because actually not having the conversation I think is helpful. But it is really tricky, and our volunteers are not, they're not trained youth workers or teachers in that way. They just provide safe spaces and encourage young people to have those conversations, which hopefully will make a little bit of a difference. So that's all we can expect people to do.
Caroline Ledger, Deputy Lead Volunteer for the clearly thriving Scouts UK. Scouts UK.
On DAB digital radio, on the Times Radio app, and on your smart speaker. Politics from every angle. Times Radio.